Hi, everyone. Welcome to Everyday Real English from Real Life podcast.
Welcome to Real English Podcast. I'm Annie.
And I'm Brendy.
Before we dive into today's topic, please take a quick second to like, subscribe, and share the Real English Podcast with your friends. It really helps the show grow and helps us reach more learners like you.
And just a quick note before we start. It might feel fast, but that's just how Americans talk. You'll hear it again later, so no pressure.
So today we are tackling a topic that is, well, it's honestly not the most fun, but it is so essential for anyone living in an English-speaking country. We're talking about getting sick.
That's right. Specifically, we're looking at the flu and measles. You've probably heard people talking about them a lot lately. They are unfortunately spreading in the community right now.
Yeah, and seeing a child or, even yourself with a really high fever or a strange rash or a bad cough, it's scary.
It is. It's naturally stressful.
But what makes it 10 times worse is when you're trying to translate all those symptoms in your head while you're panicking.
Exactly. That language barrier, it adds a layer of anxiety that you just don't need in that moment. So our goal today is to give you the simple, practical phrases you need. We want you to feel confident walking into a doctor's office or calling a telehealth appointment or even going to the ER.
We just want to take the language stress away, so you can focus on what matters. We're going to break this down symptom by symptom and situation by situation. So let's jump right in. Let's start with the big one everyone's talking about, the flu.
The flu. It is everywhere this season. Now, when we talk about the flu in English, we usually focus on a specific set of symptoms. These are the things you need to tell the doctor to get the right help fast.
Right. So let's set the scene. Imagine your son or daughter feels terrible. Their body is burning up. How do we describe that fever in a way the doctor understands quickly and, takes seriously?
Well, the most common phrase is simple, but the pronunciation is key. You say, he has a high fever.
He has a high fever.
Okay. Yeah.
But let's talk about American culture for a second here. Doctors in the U.S., they love data. They love numbers. If I just say he's hot, that might not be enough, right?
You are absolutely right. Hot is, well, it's subjective. In the U.S., we use Fahrenheit, which can be confusing if you're used to Celsius. So a normal temperature is 98.6. A number that makes doctors pay attention is usually over 100 or 101. If it gets really high, you need to be specific. You would say, his fever went up to 103.
Ooh, 103. That is high. That's about, 39.5 Celsius? That's the kind of number that changes the doctor's plan. Let's practice that one clearly. His fever went up to 103.
Exactly. That sentence tells the doctor this is serious and it needs attention now. Now, what about that feeling? That specific flu feeling where your muscles just hurt, your back hurts.
Oh, I hate that feeling. It's so different from normal pain. It's like you ran a marathon and then got hit by a truck, but you haven't even left your bed.
That is a great description. In English, we don't usually say he has pain everywhere. We use a specific word, aches. So you to tell the doctor he has body aches.
He has body aches. That's a very descriptive word. It implies that, like dull, constant pain all over.
Correct. And often these days, before you even see the doctor, you might do a test at home. You can buy these combo tests at the pharmacy now for COVID and flu. If that test shows 2 lines for flu, you need to tell them that right away.
Because that changes everything for the doctor, right? So you would say, he tested positive for flu A.
Perfect. He tested positive for flu A. That saves the doctor so much guessing. But there's one more sentence for the flu section that might be the most important one of all. It's a sentence that, it unlocks the medicine cabinet.
Really? A magic sentence. What is it?
It's all about the timeline. You need to say, symptoms started yesterday.
Something started yesterday. Now, why is that specific phrase so important? Why does the doctor care if it was yesterday or 3 days ago? Is it just for their records?
No, it's strictly medical. This is really key. There are special medicines for the flu, antivirals. You might know the brand name Tamiflu. But these medicines, they have a strict rule. They work best if you take them within the first 48 hours of getting sick.
Ah, okay. So the first 2 days are kind of the golden window.
Exactly. If you wait 3 or 4 days, the virus has already replicated too much and the medicine doesn't work as well. So saying symptoms started yesterday tells the doctor, hey, we are in that window. We qualify. Help us.
That makes total sense. So you're basically saying we're on time.
Yes. And while we're talking about medicine, it's important to manage expectations. Remember that antibiotics, which people often ask for, they don't kill viruses. Flu is a virus. So the doctor probably won't give you antibiotics. They might give you antivirals like Tamiflu, but only if you use that phrase, symptoms started yesterday.
Got it. Timing is everything. Everyone remember that one. Okay, let's shift gears. The flu is very common, but we're also seeing outbreaks of something that feels a bit more old-fashioned but is really serious. Measles.
Yes, measles is different. It's not just a bad cold or a flu. It has very specific visual signs that you need to describe to the doctor, especially over the phone.
When I think of measles, I just think of spots. That's the classic sign, right?
It is the most famous symptom. It's a rash. But saying he has spots is a little vague. Usually with measles, the rash follows a pattern. It starts at the head and moves down the body. So you would say, he has a rash spreading on his body.
He has a rash spreading on his body. Spreading is a good verb there. It shows movement.
And to be more specific, because doctors look for patterns, you can say, it started on his face.
It started on his face. That helps the doctor tell the difference between measles and maybe like a food allergy, right?
Exactly. An allergy might start on your arm or stomach. Measles usually starts at the hairline or face and moves down. Now let's look at the face closely. What do the eyes look like with measles?
Usually they look really sick. I've heard they get very red.
Yes. We say, his eyes are red. Sometimes doctors call it conjunctivitis, but for you, simple is better. His eyes are red.
His eyes are red. Okay. And does it come with the usual cold symptoms too?
It does. It comes with a cough and a runny nose. So you put it all together. He has a cough and runny nose.
He has a cough and runny nose. Okay, so we have the rash pattern, the red eyes, the cough. Now, there is a question every single doctor will ask about measles, and you need to be ready for it. It's about shots.
Yes. The vaccine, in English we call it the MMR vaccine for measles, mumps, rubella. The doctor has to know if your child is protected. So the phrase you want to use is, he is up to date on his MMR vaccine.
He is up to date on his MMR vaccine. Let's unpack that phrase, up to date. That just means he got all the shots he was supposed to get for his age, right?
Correct. It means he isn't missing any doses. And this is crucial information for the doctor to know immediately.
Now, for the flu, you mentioned we have that medicine, Tamiflu, if we catch it early. Is there a magic pill for measles?
Unfortunately, no. This is the hard part. Unlike the flu, measles doesn't usually have a specific cure or a pill you can take to make the virus just vanish.
Oh, that's tough for a parent to hear. So what do doctors actually do?
They focus on what we call supportive care. In simple English, that just means helping the body rest so it can fight the virus itself. It means drinking lots of fluids, resting, and managing the fever with, Tylenol or Motrin.
So it's mostly about keeping them comfortable and hydrated while their body does the work.
Exactly. But here is a critical warning. Measles is airborne. That means it floats in the air. It is very, very contagious. So if you even suspect measles, calling the doctor before you go is so important. That way you don't get other people in the waiting room sick.
That is a great point. You do not want to be the person who spreads it to the whole clinic. And actually, that leads us perfectly into our next section. If we don't want to go into a crowded waiting room, what can we do?
You can use telehealth.
Telehealth. I feel like this became huge a few years ago and just kind of stayed around. It's basically a video call with a doctor, right?
Yes. It's a video visit on your phone or your computer. It is great for high fevers when you don't want to move your sick child out of bed, or just to avoid all those germs in the waiting room.
So how do we ask for this? If I call the receptionist, what do I say?
You call the clinic and say, I'd like to schedule a telehealth appointment.
I'd like to schedule a telehealth appointment.
Okay. And once we're on the video call, we can tell them about our home test results.
Right. Remember the test we talked about? You just say, we did a home flu test.
We did a home flu test. Now, here's a tricky part. You want to ask about that medicine, Tamiflu, but you don't want to be rude and, demand it. How do we ask if our child can get it?
A great word to use here is qualify. It makes you sound very educated about the medical process. You can ask, would he qualify for Tamiflu?
Would he qualify for Tamiflu? That is excellent. It's like asking, does he fit the rules for this medicine? Instead of, give me the medicine. Exactly. It's very polite, but still direct. And if the doctor says yes, you don't get a piece of paper anymore. It's all digital. You want them to send it electronically. So you say, can you send the prescription to my pharmacy?
Can you send the prescription to my pharmacy? That's so convenient. So the doctor sees the patient over video, hears it started yesterday, and boom, medicine is waiting at the pharmacy.
Ideally, yes. It saves so much time and energy when you're already exhausted.
Okay, but let's be real. Sometimes telehealth isn't enough. Sometimes the child is really, really sick. But I always get confused, and I know our listeners do too. In the U.S., there's urgent care, and there's the emergency room, or ER. What is the difference?
This is a very common confusion, even for Americans. So let's break it down simply. Urgent care is usually a walk-in clinic. It's for things that are bad, but not, life-threatening.
Okay, so give me a checklist. When do I go to urgent care?
Go to urgent care if the fever is high, but it's not going down with medicine. Or if you see signs of dehydration, that means they aren't drinking enough and their mouth is dry. Or maybe a severe sore throat that prevents them from swallowing.
Okay, fever not going down, dehydration, severe sore throat. That's urgent care. Now, when do we go to the big hospital, the ER?
The ER is for emergencies, real emergencies. You go there if there is trouble breathing. That is the biggest warning sign.
Trouble breathing. Okay, that's non-negotiable. Got it.
Or seizures.
Seizures. That's a scary word. Can you explain that simply?
A seizure is when the body shakes uncontrollably. It can happen with very high fevers in young kids. It's very frightening to watch. If that happens, you go straight to the ER.
And what about if they're just really out of it?
Yes, if they are very sleepy or not responsive-like, it is hard to wake them up. That is an ER visit. We call that lethargy, and it's serious.
Okay, that's a very clear difference. Urgent care for stubborn fevers and fluids. ER for breathing, seizures, or not waking up. We want to keep everyone calm, but it's good to know exactly where to drive the car.
Absolutely. Being prepared helps you stay calm.
All right. We've learned a lot of phrases and a lot of context. Now we need to put them together. Let's do a role play so everyone can hear the rhythm of the conversation.
Great idea.
Okay, listeners, listen closely to how we use the phrases we just taught you.
Hi, doctor. I'm worried about my son.
Okay, tell me what's going on. When did it start?
Symptoms started yesterday. He has a high fever.
I see. Did you take his temperature?
Yes. His fever went up to 103.
That is high. Is he eating or drinking?
He's not really eating, but he is drinking a little bit.
And is he vaccinated?
Yes, he is up to date on his MMR vaccine and his flu shot.
Okay. Since it started yesterday, let's go ahead and test for flu.
Okay, scene end. That was a perfect example of a standard U.S. doctor visit.
It felt very realistic. The doctor asked about the timeline, the fever number, and the vaccines right away.
Now it is your turn. We're going to practice 3 of those key sentences. This is the gym portion of our time together. I want you to speak out loud.
Don't be shy. If you're in the car or doing dishes, say it loud. We'll say the phrase, then we'll pause so you can repeat it. Then we'll say it again at natural speed.
Ready. Here's the first one. It's about the fever. Repeat after me. His fever went up to 103. Brief pause. His fever went up to 103.
Good. Enunciate those numbers clearly. Now the second one, this is the one about timing the magic sentence. Repeat after me. Symptoms started yesterday. Brief pause. Symptoms started yesterday.
Excellent. And the last one about the vaccine. This is a longer one, so take a breath. Repeat after me. He is up to date on his MMR vaccine. Brief pause. He is up to date on his MMR vaccine.
Great job, everyone. Speaking it out loud, it really helps it stick in your brain, so when you're stressed, the words just come out.
It really does. And you notice in our role play, the doctor asked some very specific questions. And that leads us to our cultural tip for today.
Yes. Doctor culture in the U.S., it's a bit specific. What do they really care about?
They focus on 2 main things, the timeline and fluids.
The timeline. Why are they so obsessed with time?
It goes back to efficiency and medicine rules. Remember that 48-hour window for flu medicine? That's why. So expect the question. When exactly did symptoms start? They aren't judging you. They are calculating if the medicine will even work.
Okay. And fluids?
In the U.S., doctors worry a lot about dehydration. They will almost always ask, is he drinking fluids? They want to know about water, juice, anything. If the patient is drinking, the doctor is usually much happier, even if the fever is high.
And they like specific numbers for fever, right? We touched on this earlier.
Yes. Don't just say he feels hot. Say it was 102 or it was 103. They trust numbers.
And finally, that vaccination question. It can feel a bit personal, but it's totally standard, right?
Right. Is he vaccinated? This is a standard check for community safety. It helps them rule out things like measles really quickly.
So be ready with your timeline, your numbers, and your vaccine record. If you have those 3 things, the appointment will go so smoothly.
Exactly. Preparation is everything.
Well, we have covered a massive amount of ground today. Flu, measles, telehealth, the ER. It feels like a lot, but having these specific words, it really changes how you feel when someone you love is sick.
It really does. When your family is sick, you're already worried about their health. You shouldn't have to worry about your English grammar, too. Now you have the tools to handle the conversation confidently.
Just remember, stay calm, be clear with the doctor, use your numbers and your timeline. You can do this.
And please, if you found this helpful, remember to like, subscribe, and share the Real English Podcast. It helps us help you.
Absolutely. Share it with a friend who has kids. They will thank you for it.
And if you want to review today's lesson, I uploaded a free PDF summary in the description and in the comments. Feel free to download it and study at your own pace.